मेरे बिजनेस में मैं इसको कैसे इसको अप्लाई करूंगा. That's the conversation that we can have. Instead of sitting and explaining the process या फ्रेमवर्क आपको समझाने के बच्चे बताएं, we'll focus on कि आपके बिजनेस में ये कैसे आप इसको अप्लाई कर सकते हैं, कहाँ पर आपको चैलेंजेस आएगा, कहाँ पर एक या तो कोई और बेटर ऑप्शन, कोई और बेटर फ्रेमवर्क मैं आपको बता सकूंगी. वी कैन हैव दिस काइंड ऑफ डिस्कशंस ऑन दैट. Okay, so keeping that in mind, do make sure that you use the workbook as much as possible. And also, that workbook becomes a document of your sales strategies. Having worked with so many SME business owners, one of the most common thing I see with people is आपके जो sales strategies है, it's never documented. It's in and this will be a great way for you to start documenting it. And जैसे ही आप you start documenting it, you will start and figuring out ये वाला gap है, यहाँ पर clarity नहीं है, यहाँ पर मुझको I should be thinking one thing पर मेरे दिमाग में 10 चीज आ रही है. Right? So all that will all those unseen challenges becomes visible when you are looking at building, documenting your entire sales strategies. With that, let's get started. We have lots to cover. This is one of my favorite sessions to do. So I'm making sure कि मतलब जितना मेरा experience है, having worked with SME business owners, with smaller organizations, with large multi-crore organizations, जितना मेरा experience है, मैंने उसको सबको एक 2 घंटे के प्रोग्राम में डाल दिया है. Okay, so there is lots to cover. So let's get started. ये मैंने आपको ऑलरेडी बोल दिया है. There is this one-to-one sessions which are this my calendar will be opened from tomorrow itself. But जब आपकी calendar is open from tomorrow, take your time, fill up the book, go through the book, and then come, because then it will become more practical for you. Okay? So today we will be doing today we will be doing not the expansion plan but the sales engine. Okay, and in that there is I have in the workbook I have defined कि next 90 days, अगले 90 दिन आप उसको कैसे अपने बिजनेस में इसको आप ढालोगे. What will you do? What will you focus on upon your business? You'll focus on that, and then we can have a clarity call. So use the one-to-one mentoring as an execution clarity call कि मैं कैसे इसको अपने business में apply करूँगा. Focus on that. Wouldn't that be much more useful for you than learning about one more framework or one more Gyan session with me? Yes? No, guys? Yes?
Yeah, right.
Yes.
Thank you, Janish. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so today what are we going to be doing? We're going to start with understanding where is your sales engine breaking. कहाँ पे you're having a problem? कहाँ पे it's not performing the way it should be performing? Okay, where how can you find existing opportunities with your existing customers? Okay, then how do you build that lead engine? What is the sales process, which is a new way of process mapping the way your sales should happen. And this is very beautifully reflecting on how the customer buys. Okay, we will also talk about how do you identify where your deals are getting stuck. A lot of us have lots of deals, but they are not moving, and because of which you're not seeing the revenue, right? So how do we diagnose that? How do you do a sales review? Especially what kind of a standard script that you can use? A simple, very simple sales dashboard. I will share that with you, and which will be something which you can again adapt for your own business. And lastly, a map of the different sales functions, stages which is there, and how much of that is dependent on you, because of which you don't have the time to focus on growth strategies. This is what we are going to be covering today. Okay. So let's start with the first one. Our session's name is Building a Repeatable Sales Engine. Okay. And for me, the way I take this is all of us we are all SME business owners. We are running business for a couple of years, right? So we have a sales function. What is missing is that that sales function is not an engine. That means it is not for it to become an engine, it must run regularly, week and week, like your machinery engine. एक बार on किया, it should keep running, right? And it should produce the output which is what you are expecting, and over time it has to improve. Now I know a lot of business owners who have the first two but they don't have the third one. There's no improvement happening. The system, which in fact, there's some of my clients who worked with me 4 years ago, have come back and saying, Neetu, your that old system worked for me for 4 years. Now it's time for us to improve. Let's talk again. Right? So that engine has to constantly be improving. So that is exactly what we're going to be building for your organization. Now, uh, mm, Navid, do we have the poll?
No, no, Neetu.
We
We are
don't have.
going to running from here
Okay,
only.
ठीक है, done. Will do. So now let's start with the first analysis. By the way, guys, I'm going to make you think in today's session. आपको you're not just going to be listening, you're going to be thinking, you're going to be engaging with me also. Okay. So I want you to look at this. Where do you think right now? What is the current status of your sales engine? Okay, they on your screen there are multiple points which is there. Which one do you think, and you can put it in the chat, which where are you currently struggling? Is it, let me do one thing to make it easier for all of us. Let me just make this into 1 2 3 4 so we can get this one also. So you can tell me which is the current, where is the current challenge that you have?
For me, it is first one. We need more leads because actually we are on the working of establishing our networking across India. Right? Till now,
Okay.
we were working only in our city only.
ठीक है. So you need more leads in new geographies that you're approaching.
Yes.
Okay. What else? For others, what else?
For me, it's number 6. Sales
Number
depends too
6
much
on
on
the business owner. Yes. Who said that? What was
this is
that? Who's Nitya?
Nityanand.
Nityanand. Yes, Nitya. Thank you for sharing that because that's one of the most common challenge why we as SMEs continue to be an SME, right? Because there is so much of dependency on us. Thank you for sharing that. And one of the work that I do is to work with business owners to remove that dependency. In fact, my programs are called the Sales Freedom series, where we try to build sales systems that will take over some of the responsibilities which the business owner is doing in sales. Okay. What else? What are the other challenges? Where are the other problems that you face? I'm seeing something in the chat.
Ma'am, we are not able to reach enough right customers, ma'am.
Reach the right customers also.
Point number 2.
Okay, okay, great. Thank you so much. So what you see, if you look at it, and you can keep adding it in the chat also. I'll have a look at it a little later. Okay. Most often than not, the first thing people always think, what is wrong with their sales? They'll think we need more sales or more leads. Okay, but that is the most visible problem. Quite a lot of us get leads, but those leads are not converting. Okay, quite a lot of us are getting leads which are not serious. They are just, they come, they are doing pricing shopping. They don't want to know your product. They just want to know kitne ka hai. Right? It is almost like buying sabji bhaji in the road because they are not serious buyers. They just want to compare you to their existing buyers. How many of us face this challenge? Right? Then we also have challenge where we've sent out so many proposals, but we are, in fact, our sales team and we are so busy sending out proposals, but they are not getting converted. Okay, so not having enough leads is only what is on the surface, but उसके नीचे there is a lot more problems जो हम लोग दिखाई नहीं देती है. And I like what Nitya has identified many a times. The reason for that is because आपके पास as a business owner आप इतने busy हो managing sales and operations and finance and accounting and payment and production. आप इतने busy हो that you don't have time to sit down and solve the problems which is already existing in the business. Okay, and one of the biggest problem for that is that sales, because sales is taking away in many organizations. The business owner is the main salesperson. How many of you are in that situation? You are the main salesperson, right? अगर आप नहीं है तो सेल्स ही नहीं होगा. ऑपरेशन शायद हो जाए, डिलीवरी हो जाए, बट सेल्स बिकॉज आप नहीं, अगर so the complete 100% dependency on you, and because of that your sales engine, you're not able to build a sales engine because sales engine आप ही हो, right? So, and you know what is very interesting is that for many of the SMEs I've seen, if they have to build an engine, the first engine that they will build is for the operations and production. Sales engine is one of the last things that they build. So for those of you who have put up your hand saying that I am the main salesperson, what about your operations, productions? वो सब already line पर है. That has already been synchronized, correct? You've got people on whom you can depend on. Is that correct?
No, it's still our involvement is quite higher
वहाँ
in
पर भी
my
चले,
case.
वहाँ पर भी है. Okay, that means
It's our startup, so
oh, acha, then that's it. I was giving the example of the SMEs, but I understand that. Then Janesh, because it is a startup and you're at a very early stage, I think this you need to be cognizant कि ये problem आ सकती है if I don't build engines and across all of this. And sales is an equally important engine that I have to build, not something that I have to build after operations, after delivery as such,
yeah,
right?
definitely.
So आप शुरू में ही, I think you can keep that in mind and start building engines. Okay, so let's get started on this. Okay, so one common thing that I keep sharing with a lot of people, right? When a moment I say that sales engine banana hai, they come up with a whole list of things. ये भी करना है, ये भी करना है, वो भी करना है. मुझे नेटवर्किंग मीटिंग्स में भी जाना है, मुझे कॉन्फ्रेंस में भी जाना है, ट्रेड शोज में भी जाना है, मुझे सेल्स पिच के लिए भी जाना है, मुझे हायर भी करना है, मुझे रिव्यू भी करना है. Everything becomes so much, right? But this adding activities everywhere. Yesterday I was doing a workshop and somebody was saying, you know what, I'm not using LinkedIn. शायद मुझे LinkedIn भी शुरू करना है. So I asked that person कि आप where are you already present? Okay, they told me they are present on marketplaces. They told me that they are present. They are with BNI. And I said, okay, and आपको are you getting enough of leads from there? I said yes, I'm getting. Then why do you want to do LinkedIn? Unless आपके पास unutilized capacity है, why do you want to add one more channel? नहीं, सब लोग LinkedIn कर रहे हैं. So हम लोग आपकी customers LinkedIn पे हैं तो make sense. But आपकी customers LinkedIn पर नहीं है, why are you adding more activity for yourself? Okay, so the idea is that you don't have to add a hazard thing because everybody else is doing. But then focus on where आपके existing sales में कहाँ पे leak हो रहा है, what is not working. पहले let's fix that, and that would mean you start with your existing customers. Okay, so let's look at your existing customers. What do you think are the different opportunities that is there with your existing customers? If you just focus कि मेरे जो भी client है 10, 15, 20, 100, उसमें से अगर आपको सोचना है कि मेरे existing customers में कहाँ से मैं और business लेकर आ सकते हैं हम लोग, what ideas come to your mind? Anybody? Okay, let me share with you. Obviously, repeat purchases. How many of your existing customers come back and buy from you regularly, especially if you have a product which has repeat utility? Second one, how many of your existing customers can you get bigger orders? Bigger could be in terms of quantity or a more expensive product or solution range. Third one, cross or upselling. If you are selling one product, can you sell another product to them? If you are selling machinery, तो उसके जो consumables है, repairs है, उसका जो additional components के लिए जो wear and tear होगा, उसको आप कैसे उसमें उसमें साथ में सेल कर सकते हो. Okay, if your customer is buying a low value product, how can you do to push them to buy a higher value product? Okay, that's correct. Dormant customers, how many of your customers were buying from you regularly last year or the year before that, and they're not buying from you this year? Right, these are customers that you have to. How many of your customers are you asking for reference? And lastly, how many of your customers have other divisions where you're not working with them, or other geographies where you haven't even touched them? You're working only with the, if you are based out of Ahmedabad, आप सिर्फ अहमदाबाद वाले बिजनेस ब्रांच से बात कर रहे हो, पर उनके उनके और भी ब्रांचेस है, मुंबई में है, दिल्ली में है, उनसे आप बात नहीं कर रहे हो. So if your existing business customers itself have so many different opportunities, which quite often I see this is not completely tapped. There is always a gap here. The logic is, for me, is very, very simple. Okay. If you are unable to find growth with people who already know you, they already know the quality of your products and services, they have an existing relationship, you know the decision makers. अगर आप वहाँ से एक्स्ट्रा ग्रोथ नहीं निकाल पाओगे, तो नए कस्टमर्स के पास जाकर ये काम निकालवाना will be so much more harder, so much more difficult for you. Okay. In other words, this existing customers is nothing but account management strategies. Let me give you a real case example. This is one of my current clients. इनके साथ मैं अभी काम कर रही हूँ. Okay, we started working. I was just noting it. Today was the 10th session. That means it's about 2 months हो गया हमारे साथ. Okay, 2 months ago we started working. They came to me and they told me that Neetu, these guys manufacture the processors that go into electronic components. ठीक है, तो उन्होंने when they came to me, they said, see, we've got more than 250 clients, okay, and we've got 1,700 open opportunities with us. उनका sales team is about 8 or 10 people are there, okay, and पिछले 4-5 साल से they are stuck at 100 crores. They have not grown beyond 100 crores. So they are saying, Neetu, what do I do? Each of my team, which is there, is handling 50-50 accounts. उनके पास टाइम ही नहीं मिलता, मैं क्या करूं? I can't afford to have hire more sales people. So what should I do with that? And this is technical sales. That's another challenge for them, क्योंकि training people on the technology and sales दोनों बहुत difficult है. So here's what we did. We said, forget about new accounts. Let's look at your existing accounts. आपके पास 1,700 plus opportunities already is there in your pipeline, which has not been fructified. And when I looked at the value of that, okay, that was double than their current sales target. So इस साल का target उनका 120 crores था. Okay, and if you look at the 1,700 plus opportunities, if you put a value to that, okay, it easily crossed 250 crores. But उनके पास time नहीं. So we said, okay, let's do one thing. Time नहीं का मतलब क्या है? Let's not go and look at more accounts. Let's look at existing accounts. Can we do more business with existing accounts? And we brought it down, and at phase 1, we identified 42 key accounts. Okay, और ये 42 key accounts को हम लोग, we have distributed between their 10 sales people. We have defined their entire key account strategies. In each account, what should the goal be? How much should we increase the revenue for them over there? What products do we add? Okay, who are the different branches that we can talk to aside from the one, if you're talking to only one branch? For example, if I'm working with Siemens, okay, this client was working with Siemens only in Goa. But Siemens offices are manufacturing are across the country, and Siemens is very, very strong in electronic components. So we're not even talking to the rest of Siemens teams at all. That was an opportunity that we were able to identify. So us tarah se for 40 accounts right now, 42 accounts right now, we are building their entire key account growth. By just focusing on these 42 accounts, they will easily cross 140 crores this year. They're not looking at 250 accounts. They're looking at 100 and that's 42 accounts. And this is what the business owner told me. The CEO told me that, Neetu, my sales teams, it feels like this is a luxury for them, where they each one was managing 50 accounts. Okay, today each one is working with not more than 5 to 6 accounts. There is, this is the key accounts. Then there is also some regular accounts which is given to them, but that is, we have created an entire portfolio ki which clients you will focus on, which clients you will just simply give them the pricing and close it, and not do too much of follow up, etc. Okay, so this is an example of just getting the key accounts right, existing customer focus. There's a huge amount of work that we can do, right? Now for you, I have an exercise. On your screen, there are 4 types of customer purchase behaviors I've got. First one is where a customer who buys only once and spends a very small amount with you. Okay, they are buying maybe small quantities or small value products. Okay, then we have the next one who is buying often, but often they buy regularly, shayad maybe, but they're still spending small amounts. And the third one is they are spending, they're buying from you often, but they're spending large amount every time. And last one, somebody who's buying only once a year, but is spending a large amount. Now, if you had to categorize this, which one is category A, the most important customer? Which one is a category B, the next important, which is C and D? Which one, according to you, which will be A, which will be B, which will be C and D?
Third will be A, fourth will be B,
Okay,
will be C, and first will be D.
It can
fantastic.
be a 3-4-1 also.
Yes.
Depends
So
how
each category,
often he buys.
each organization, depending upon the products that you're selling and the customers buying behavior, your A, B can shift, right? So here's what you're going to be doing. Create a 2x2 matrix. Okay, in this you create the same logic. So एक तरफ में I have high monetary, that means high value, and दूसरी तरफ से I have frequency, how often do they buy from us, right? अगर वो लोग महीने के महीने खरीद रहे हैं या 4-5 महीने में एक बार खरीद रहे हैं, ये पता नहीं यार साल में कब खरीदते हैं, पर खरीद तो है हमसे। वो फ्रीक्वेंसी हमारे पास क्लियर कि कब कब खरीदते हैं वो क्लैरिटी नहीं। उसके हिसाब से अब उनको ये ऐसा एक चार्ट बना के उसके अंदर उसका नाम लिखो, राइट द नेम्स डाउन। ओके, नाउ दिस एक्सरसाइज, ये वाला जो एक्टिविटी है आप अलग से करोगे और अपनी सेल्स टीम्स को बोलोगे वो अलग से करें। उनको समझा दो कि क्या करना है, पर वो कौन से कस्टमर्स, एग्जिस्टिंग कस्टमर्स कौन से कहां पर आएंगे वो आप अलग अलग करो। ओके, जब आप अलग अलग करके उसके बाद आप साथ में बैठोगे तब आप कंपेयर करना कि जब आपको जो लगता है एक कैटेगरी ए कस्टमर है, आपकी टीम बोलेगा नहीं नहीं वो तो कैटेगरी बी है, और वाइसे वर्सा। ओके, दिस विल शो टू यू कि आपके इंटरनली इनसाइड योर ऑर्गेनाइजेशन द वे यू आर व्यूइंग योर कस्टमर्स, जिस तरह से आप अपने कस्टमर्स को इंपॉर्टेंस किस बलबूते पर आप उनको इंपॉर्टेंस दे रहे हो, किस पैरामीटर्स पे आप उनको इंपॉर्टेंस दे रहे हो, इवन दैट कैन चेंज। Let me give you an example. Okay, if you say a customer who buys often, what is often? Often का मतलब क्या होगा? आपके कुछ लोगों बोलेंगे नहीं हफ्ते हफ्ते खरीदते हैं हमसे, कुछ बोलेंगे नहीं महीने महीने खरीदते हैं, कुछ बोलते हैं कि नहीं एटलीस्ट क्या नाम है, महीने में 1-2 बार खरीदते हैं। Okay, the reason this happens is as an organization we never define this कि what is often, what is spending too much, they're spending a lot। कोई बोला था नहीं 4 लाख महीना का खरीदता है हमसे, isn't that good? Somebody else will say no, 10 lakhs is a good thing, right? So this is where because we don't identify this, we are not able to figure out which customers are a category A, B, C, D। Okay, now the next thing is for each, यहाँ पे इस वाले एग्जाम्पल में मैंने यूज किया है how often they buy and how much money they spend on each billing for us। Now, in some of your other organizations, you can use some other parameters. Okay, you can look. You can, instead of revenue, you can use profit. A lot of us are can clearly calculate profits. So instead of looking at top line, looking at bottom line, कि कितना profit हो रहा है मुझको, or how often is the customer buying, that can be there. If you're a manufacturing company, okay, you can measure effort and profitability. I'll give you an example. It's a capsule manufacturing company. The sales guy said, for me, a category A customer is somebody who will buy often from me and will give me high profit, sorry, high revenue. But the manufacturing team, the production team of the same organization tells me कि नहीं नीतू, I want to look at customers जहाँ पे मुझे उनका जो production है, I can do it quickly. उनके customization is limited, criteria, what do you call that, rejection criteria is easy. तो वो क्योंकि मुझे अगर वो when a customer is high customization जब होता है, तो जहाँ पर मुझे 2 दिन लगते हैं एक लॉट का मैन्युफैक्चर करने के लिए, उस कस्टमर्स के लिए मुझे 3 दिन लगते हैं. 50% more effort. So as an organization, 50% more effort will means कि आपके profitability पर impact हो रहा है, right? So some of you who are in the manufacturing can look into effort versus profitability. Okay, so इस तरह से this information is, और by the way किताब में है, आपके वर्कबुक में है. You see which parameter is most applicable for you, use that parameters. You don't have to always use only revenue and frequency. Okay, कुछ डाउट है किसी को इसमें? Anybody has a doubt on this? No? Can I move forward? Okay, so one more thing like for you to also see is that, I think I forgot to mention that, is I was giving you the example of the capsule manufacturing. One of their biggest customers was Cipla. Okay, Cipla थी कि हाँ think Cipla थी. So Cipla का जो capsules है, they were very particular that if the capsule का जो skin है, if it is more than 0.01 mm, they will reject it. Okay, this is where the production team had to do a lot of work to because बहुत सारे rejections होते थे, so they had to take extra time to produce that. So production का effort was higher. Then the sales team came back and told me, because that's such a big company, okay, they really negotiate very hard, and उनका जो profit margins with this very big company is very less. So what was interesting for me, sales वाले के हिसाब से profit भी कम है with Cipla. Cipla is a big account and they used to always call it a category A account. Okay, it came in the right top right corner. ठीक है, तो उनके बड़ा इतना बड़ा नाम है, इतना मतलब इतना प्रोडक्शन उनका बहुत हाई है, तो दे थॉट वही दैट मस्ट बी ए कैटेगरी ए कस्टमर. पर जैसे ही हमने ये ऐसे किया और ये डाला, व्हेन वी लुक्ड एट दिस वी रियलाइज उनका एक्चुअली प्रॉफिटेबिलिटी इज लो और एफर्ट इज वेरी हाई. Suddenly, a big brand name like Cipla became a category B customer for them, or even a category C customer. And they realized the mid-range वाले जो brands है, those guys who were buying regularly and were not very high in terms of effort, right? They were the most profitable customer. That suddenly became a category A customer. So just don't assume that just because there is a customer who is the biggest brand, that they are your best customers. Okay, do this exercise, and when you do this separately, अगर आपका production team है, उनको भी involve करो, देखो कि उनके नजरिए से क्या differences आ रहे हैं. Okay, now look at why do we need this? Because when you look at each category, okay, उनका जो sales strategy है, your next 90 days action will also change. So when you have a category A customer, okay, and we are assuming that these are very strong current customers, they are profitable for you, the effort is equal to the value that they are providing. Okay, so what is your strategy for them? You will protect this. Why? Because competitors are also targeting the same account. So you should have a defensive strategy यहाँ पे. This is like when you're playing शतरंज, right? आप शतरंज खेल रहे हो, आपके जो मेन किंग एंड क्वीन है, you have to protect them also while you're attacking others. दोनों करना है आप. This is exactly the same thing, right? You have to deepen and expand the relationship with them. This is where और branches और divisions के साथ आप काम करोगे. Maybe more people in that organization, you'll meet up with more people ताकि more and more projects come for you. And these are the clients where you also ask for reference, because they are your if they are important to you, you are also equally important to them. Remember what I said just now. If this is a category A customer और ये आपके लिए बहुत important है, तो आप भी उनके लिए important होना चाहिए. अगर आप उनके लिए important नहीं हैं, okay, that means they can easily replace you. And that means जो सबसे important customer है आपका, वो that is at a risk. It can go away anytime when some other competitor comes and makes another promise, and they can easily go away because you're not very important to them. Okay, that is why the strategy for this is always to protect, deepen, and expand the relationship with the client. Okay, the next one is category B. Okay, these are the ones where you will reactivate, keep they could have bought from you once or twice, but they don't come and repeat from you. If agar unki zarurat hai, but they're not buying from you, then that's the opportunity. There you go back, figure out why they're not buying from you. When is their next buying cycle, or how can we become a part of that vendor list for them? So this is a very different strategy from category A. Category C, यहाँ पे frequency is also high. They're buying regularly, but थोड़ा खरीद रहे. And as a organization, if it makes sense for you, if you're a product company, then maybe increasing the order value. Can you buy more units? Can you buy a bigger order value? That makes sense. If you're a service organization, maybe not more units, but can you take services which are at a higher price point, right? How can you that is called upgrading. और या फिर हाउ कैन यू क्रिएट अ बंडल, आप ये भी खरीदे साथ में खरीदोगे कि आपको भी फायदा होगा, मुझे भी फायदा होगा. That's the strategy that you will have with them. Okay, and then last one, जहाँ पे आपको लो वैल्यू है, but or they don't come and buy from you, go back and check how much of your sales people और खुद आपका टाइम कितने बार इस कस्टमर के पास जाता है, because this customer is going to take away a lot of your time and effort but not give you enough of return for it. तो या तो इसको आप completely deprioritize कर दीजिए, या if you have some kind of an automation, put that automation into place over here. Okay, let me give you an example. Again, this is one of my earliest clients. They were in the logistics business, CNF, right? And they came, same thing, that was a 250 crore company. And for the past 8 years, they continue to be stuck around 250 crores के आसपास ही थे. So this is a company I told you when I built an entire sales system, they came back to me 4 years later and said कि अभी 4 साल से हम लोग यही करें, अब नया systems बनाते हैं. But they came to me very interestingly. They had 35 branches across the entire country. Okay, and while they were each of the branch has their branch head, etc. What was interesting was when I looked at that, why ये 250 crores की company है, they're saying clients हमारे are buying more and more with us, पर फिर भी हम लोग वहीं पर 250 में क्यों अटके हुए? Why isn't that increase? Profitability का increase ही नहीं हुई है. When we looked at that, I broke it down to seeing which are the different locations, each location wise. What was the performance? And what we saw that Ludhiana branch जो है पिछले 3 साल से इसने profit बनाया ही नहीं है. Okay, they based out of Mumbai. Mumbai is doing amazingly well. Chennai was doing amazingly well. Pune is doing amazingly well. जो भी ग्रोथ मुंबई पुणे चेन्नई लेकर आ रहा और दिल्ली दिल्ली ऑल्सो वाज डूइंग गुड. तो जो भी ये ब्रांचेस वेर डूइंग अमेजिंगली वेल. ओके. उसका जो ग्रोथ था was getting eaten away by branches like Ludhiana and Kolkata. Kolkata at one time was doing okay, but again, when we looked at the data, we realized पिछले 3 साल से slowly उनका revenue कम होता जा रहा है. पुणे had lots of opportunity, पर वहाँ पे team जो था was very junior. They felt that the Mumbai team should be focusing on that क्योंकि पास में ही है all of that. But the Mumbai team was so busy with the Mumbai work itself कि वो पुणे को उतना time नहीं दे पा रहे थे. So there we felt कि instead of making Pune as a support for Mumbai, let's create a full-fledged team in Pune itself, right? So and we did this exercise. We also did the customer exercise with them, and we decided we will close down Ludhiana completely because it was not making sense at all. We also realized that Pune will have to do more investments, right? This was also looking at when we did the customer exercise. I'm giving you the example of we did for the branch exercise. The same logic we applied for customers also, and that was amazing because the biggest performing team in that organization came back to me and said, "Neetu, when I did this exercise that you told me, right? Sorry, when I did this exercise, okay." We realized that my 46% of my current clients are category D customers. Okay, and these guys would come every time, ask for pricing, ask for कभी कभी आते थे वो प्राइसिंग के लिए इतना पूछते थे मुझे इतना काम करना पड़ता था. सो दे डिसाइडेड दैट द कैटेगरी डी कस्टमर्स जो है ना उनके लिए हम लोग सिर्फ एक रैक प्राइस देंगे. देयर इज नो नेगोशिएशन. Only if we feel that there is a potential that they can become a category C or a B customer, then we will go into a negotiation. So that now the entire team, more than 46% of their time was wasted here. Now suddenly they have 40%, 46% time more to focus on the top category A, B, C customers. So this is the activity I want you to do for your organization. Okay. Now let's look at the next part of it is where are your leads coming from? I see a lot of organizations have many lead sources. It can be referrals, LinkedIn, your channel partners के through आ रहा है, India Mart के through आ रहा है, आपके website के through आ रहा है, आपके team is going out and talking to potential new customers. You're doing emailing. You have trade shows, exhibitions. Either you're going as a visitor or you're setting up, putting money, setting up stalls. There are different sources that are happening over here. Okay, but the challenge for me always is there is never a dearth of कि कहाँ से लीड आ रहे हैं. बहुत सारे जगह अलग अलग जगह से आ रहे हैं. The challenge is कि कौन सी जगह से high quality leads आ रहे हैं. Leads which is right for my business. Leads where the customer can actually buy from me. वो हम लोग उसके बारे में if you have to put that into place, you will realize कि ये जो list है बहुत छोटी जाती है. Okay, and we need to do that exercise because what we need is predictable high quality leads. Can somebody tell me what is the difference between a lead source and a predictable high quality lead source? Anybody?
So
Hussein.
qualified leads could be like you can get it from anywhere, but predictable high qualified leads means, from according to my point of view, is that I know for a fact that if I am consistent with this particular source, I'll get an X amount or X percentage of predictable quality leads, so recurring
Absolutely.
leads per month.
Perfect, Hussein. Thank you so much. And if you see what we are doing in today's session, we are building a lead engine. इंजन का मतलब क्या है कि अगर वो इंजन आप स्टार्ट करोगे तो वो ऐसे ही वो मशीनरी विल ऑपरेट इन दिस मैनर इटसेल्फ, राइट? ओके, सो दैट यू कैन प्रेडिक्ट कि अगर मैंने कार का इंजन स्टार्ट किया तो ऐसी आवाज आएगी, फिर ये गियर चेंज किया तो यहाँ से वहाँ तक इट विल गो. You know exactly what's going to happen. unfortunately for many of us, we have lead sources, but we can't predict कि whether we will get the exact same or not exact, but the regularly कितना lead हमको वहाँ से मिल सकते हैं. That is the difference for us between us where the leads are coming, whereas a lead engine is that every week on week we are tracking what is happening over there, we are improving it, and we are making sure that somebody in the team is got the responsibility of focusing on that lead source. Let me show you some examples. Okay, before that, um, why are some of these lead sources not working for us? On your screen I have got the most common reasons why lead sources for us don't work out. Would you want to quickly share with me which is the most common challenge? Where are your current lead sources and the gap that is there? Which one is this that you see for yourself? Okay, there is a poll over here. You can try that out. Pick up one of the lead sources that you have and tell me why do you think it's not working? Anybody? You can also enter the poll.
You appointed at least 3 distributors, but there is no proper engagement on day-to-day or very planned basis.
Got that. Okay. Thank you for sharing this, Janish. So you've already appointed 3, is it?
Yes.
Perfect. So then obviously a very common challenge that I'm seeing, Janish. Thank you for so much for sharing that. Because कई बार हम लोग सोचते हैं किसी डिस्ट्रीब्यूटर को हमने अपॉइंट कर दिया तो अभी हमको वहां पर फोकस नहीं करना पड़ेगा, राइट? बिकॉज डिस्ट्रीब्यूटर को इसलिए तो हायर किया था कि वो फोकस करे उस एरिया का, उस ज्योग्राफी को वो मैनेज करे. इज दैट करेक्ट, जनिश?
Yeah, it has to be, but there should be some regular connection between us and them.
Absolutely right. So that is where we feel 2-3 things that happens, and I'm working with a client where we have hired distributors for new geographies. So सबसे पहले हमने क्या किया है is that first we have profiled कि किस तरह का distributor will be the right connect for us, right? The distributor जहाँ पे हमारे potential customers are already talking to them, obviously, right? Then the distributor जिसको हमारे products की भूख हो, where we are important to them. If the distributor, I know a client, a tire manufacturing company, okay, they were manufacturing these tires for tractors, okay, and so they would say कि यार नीतू ट्रैक्टर के जो भी शॉप्स जो होते हैं, डिस्ट्रीब्यूटर्स आर ऑलवेज इन द विलेज साइड में जो होते हैं या स्मॉल टाउन्स में होते हैं, एंड वहाँ पे जो बड़े बड़े ब्रांड्स के डिस्ट्रीब्यूटर वही है. The challenge with those guys is that it makes it very when a farmer or somebody comes to buy from them, they will pick up the one brand which they know, which is always the बड़े brands. अभी उनका नाम याद नहीं कौन से. Let's take example Seat. I'm just using Seat. I don't know if Seat manufactures tractor tires or नहीं. But ये वाला brand जो था इसका नाम मुझे नाम भी बड़ा अजीब था, ब्रैट था. ओके, तो वो ब्रैट का क्यों सोचेंगे? वाई विल दैट फार्मर कम एंड आस्क फॉर अ ब्रैट टायर अनलेस द प्राइसिंग इज द ओनली थिंग? कुछ सस्ता वाला दे दो, दैट्स अ डिफरेंट आइटम. So what was happening is the distributor also is not going to, from their side, they will want to sell a product which is at high demand rather than trying to convince a person to buy from them, right? So that's a challenge with distributors. Why, if you are not an important uh, product to stock for them, they will not sell it too much also. So how do you make yourself important to them? How do you activate them? How do you engage with them? How do you review with them? How do you give them the first taste of success? Right? उसको आप कैसे करेंगे? That's the full strategy that you have to define for a distributor to work with you. Okay? Great. So thank you for that, Jinesh ji. So I'm going to just take a most common example that I see always here is that you have a sales team Okay, you have a list of potential customers, but actually, we are not reaching out to them regularly. I gave the example of the processor manufacturer, right? When I asked them कौन से accounts say you have to work, they had a big list with them. But the whole sales team is so busy catering to the current 250 plus customers. उनके पास टाइम ही नहीं है नए वाले कस्टमर्स के पास जाने के लिए, राइट? एंड उनका उनका सेल साइकिल इज नॉट स्मॉल. पहले जाएंगे, इंट्रोड्यूस करेंगे, फिर वो कस्टमर बोलेगा ठीक है आप ये प्रोसेसर बनाओगे, उसका आप सैंपल बनाओ, सैंपल को फिर लोग टेस्ट करेंगे. लॉट ऑफ टू एंड फ्रो होता है. इट इज एनी वे बिट टू गेट अ न्यू कस्टमर, एनी वे 6 months का टाइम प्रोसेस होता है इनका, right? So what will the sales team do? जो existing customers है, जो who are giving them an order right away और जिनका problems हो रहा है, they will talk to them first, and they keep postponing going to new customers, right? So that is the most common challenge that is there. So I wanted to go back to your lead sources, identify what is the gap, bring it, and then tell, ठीक है, next 90 days what will I change about this? Okay, so that's the work that we are going to be doing in this. So here's how we're going to do. Let's take the example. I've taken the example of LinkedIn. Okay, let's say most of your customers are corporates, and the corporate purchase managers are there. Their profiles, they have their profiles on LinkedIn. So you're going to reach out to them on LinkedIn. So what are you going to do is you'll create a target of all the companies. From there, you will plan how will my team engage with them. Even to reach on LinkedIn, remember purchase managers, procurement managers, production managers, all of these guys are being approached by every SME businesses as such. So they are getting a lot of requests all the time. Why would they want to engage with your sales guys? So what should that message be that will make them think that, okay, hey, this is sounding interesting, let's talk about it, right? So that has to be thought through. It's not just saying, okay, we are selling you this, please go ahead and come and buy from us. They most often than not, they will ignore it. Okay, I've seen that earlier one, pick one lead source multiplier. Okay, got that. This is from the earlier one. I see a lot of you are using in IndiaMart or your website. The score is there. Are we sharing this score, Navid, with the team, or only I'm seeing this?
You are seeing this.
Acha, okay. Thank you for that. So we'll use this a little later, not for now. Thank you, because I've already
Sure.
moved to the next slide. Thank you. Okay, so going back to this, we have we need to engage with them. Then the next one is most of you. What is the average sales cycle for most of you? How long does it take for the customer when the time you're approaching them to actually close? I mean, जब से आप पहली बार उनसे बात करते हैं till the time they place your first order, कितना टाइम लगता है आपका? 1-2 महीना, 1-2 हफ्ता? What's the average time? Anybody? We call this a sales cycle, no?
Probably a week for me.
A week for Dinesh. अच्छा, Dinesh,
Minimum
आपका
3 months for
हाँ,
me.
3 months for you. Okay, great. So 1 week is nice. It's a short period of time, Dinesh. That's good कि आप जल्दी कर सकते हो. पर जहाँ पे we have to do 3 months, okay, then a follow-up strategy has to be very, very clear. Most of our sales guys have never been taught what should the follow-up strategy be. उनका सिर्फ यही है कि हर अगर 3 महीना में होगा तो उन लोग क्या करेंगे, हफ्ता 2 हफ्ता, एवरी ऑल्टरनेट वीक और वीकली दे कॉल अप द क्लाइंट एंड से आप रेडी है खरीदने के लिए, आर यू रेडी टू बाई, आर यू रेडी टू बाई? एंड टेल मी how many of us like to attend a call where somebody is saying, are you ready to buy? None of us like it, right? कितने हम लोगों को कितने कॉल्स आते हैं, क्रेडिट कार्ड्स के, इंश्योरेंस के, लोन्स के. कभी कभी जब हमको उसकी जरूरत भी पड़ती है ना, तब उनके नंबर ऑफ कॉल्स देख के मतलब मन करता है कि यार छोड़ो, यार अभी तो खरीदना ही नहीं है हमको, right? So this is exactly what that procurement purchase manager will also be going through, right? But so what should the follow-up strategy be? It cannot just be कि are you ready to buy? How would you engage them? How would you keep in contact with them? How would you make sure that they remember you? Okay, so there is an entire follow-up strategy that we define. And then, of course, qualify. For some of you, qualification may come in earlier. You may qualify earlier. So, most common way for people to qualify is to look at BANT. How many of you are aware of BANT already? Budget, authority, need, and time. So let me share that. B for budget. Do they have the budget for your products? Okay. Quite often ये होता है कि एक junior person will from the company will reach out to you और उसको बजट का कोई अंदाजा नहीं होता है, या तो वे या तो completely opposite. ओके, उनके बॉस ने बोला कि मुझको 1 लाख में ये चाहिए, यू गो एंड फिगर इट आउट. एंड द रियलिटी इज 1 लाख में सबसे सस्ता सबसे बिगड़ा हुआ प्रोडक्ट मिलेगा, बट इस जूनियर को पता ही नहीं है. तो बॉस ने 1 लाख बोला, वो 1 लाख में ही उसकी सुई वहीं पर अटकी हुई है. Right, so it could be any which way. So do they have the budget for, just like the client is sometimes calling you up to figure out your price, you should also equally push back and say कि आपका budget क्या है. Imagine आपका product is 50 lakhs and customer का budget is 10 lakhs. राइट, तो आप इमेजिन आपके सेल्स टीम अगर ये पहले से इसको डायग्नोस नहीं करते हैं, उनके हिसाब से तो बड़ा अच्छा लीड है. ओके, बट बात में समझ में आता है जब आप प्राइसिंग, जब आप उनको प्रपोजल देते हो, उसके बाद एकदम चुप्पी, एवरीबडी इज क्वाइट, कोई रेस्पॉन्स नहीं है. वाई? आपने प्रपोजल भेजा है 50 lakhs का, पर कस्टमर का बजट इज 10 lakhs. कस्टमर इज नॉट गोना turn quite a few people, they never turn back and tell you, oh, it's too expensive. They'll just completely ignore you. Somebody else will tell you it is too expensive, they will not tell you how expensive. Right? So that is why budget is important for us, so that we don't waste time with people who will never anyway buy from us. Next one is authority. I gave you the example of the junior person. उसको बस authority ही नहीं है. I have seen too many people do this, that they are talking to the wrong person and that person doesn't have authority. उसके साथ हमने सब कुछ दे दिया, प्राइसिंग दे दिया, प्रपोजल दे दिया, टेक्निकल इन्फॉर्मेशन दे दिया, सब कुछ हमने प्लान कर दिया. फिर वो बोलेगा अच्छा ठीक है, ये सब डिटेल्स मैंने अपने बॉस को दे दिया है, बॉस ने बोला कि थैंक यू, बट हम लोग वी आर डिसाइडेड टू गो विद समबडी एल्स. हाउ ऑफन डज इट हैपन टू अस? दैट इज बिकॉज वी आर नॉट टॉकिंग टू द पर्सन हु हैज द अथॉरिटी. Okay, then the next one, third one is need. कि इसकी उनको एक्चुअली ज़रूरत है या लोग सिर्फ इंक्वायरी कर रहे हैं. ऐसे बहुत सारे बिजनेसेस हैं who will just come and talk to you, but they don't have any intention of buying from you. they अभी एटलीस्ट इस साल तो उनका इरादा नहीं है, they're just gathering information. या फिर ये भी होता है, and this happens with a lot of the larger corporates. A lot of the larger corporates have a rule कि you can't buy the same product from one person all the time. So they say you have to take at least 3 proposals, compare the proposals, and then which one is the best proposal, उसको आप order दो. But क्या होता है, the purchase manager is very clear कि मेरा जो existing vendor है, he is the best already. तो उसको इसका कोई इरादा नहीं है to give the business to somebody else. देखिए, बट रूल है, कंपनी का रूल है. That means what he says, अच्छा ठीक है, he will ask for your proposal, but the only reason he is asking for your proposal is because he wants to show I've asked for 3 people, but this is the existing vendor is the best one. How many of you have faced this? Anybody here? I'll give you the example of the CNF
Yeah, I
company.
have faced many times. Yeah.
Many times, right? Thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah,
Thank you.
yeah.
So I'll give you the example of the CNF company, right? Kolkata ka hi branch ka was there. I was seeing ki continuously they are very happy. Excite batteries ka they were getting continuously inquiries coming in. Okay, and I was involved for a short period of time on their sales review. So I was looking at this ki this excited batteries has given us so many inquiries. So I asked अच्छा ठीक है कितना business आ रहा है हमको हमारा. Why isn't Excite Batteries one of our category A B customers for the Kolkata branch? And पता चला कि आज तक हमको Excite Battery से कोई बड़ा ऑर्डर आया ही नहीं है. We've not got a single good big order from Excite Batteries. We went and I asked them to go back and I said how many inquiries have come. So they said on an average every week we get anywhere between 2 to 3 inquiries, or every 15 days we get 2 to 3 inquiries. Each inquiry का proposal बनाने के लिए they takes the team anywhere between 4 to 5 hours spread over 2 to 3 days. Okay, so imagine, and I was like, why is it? I was saying, no, they never give us the reason why they're not giving us the why they're not giving us the order. That clients just always keep saying, "Ki sorry, order has gone to somebody else." So when we went back and we analyzed the data, हमें पता चला one that we were talking to a junior, so no authority. Okay, second हमको पता चला कि जो the उनका जो preferred logistics to company is one of our competitors. Okay, they prefer to work with them itself, but internally pata chala they have this three proposal wala thing. And then I told the team, do you realize कि आप let's say even if it's a weekly, if you are spending let's say 4 plus 4 8 hours, that's nearly one full working day, okay, to give the proposal to Excite. Okay, that one day's salary is going towards meeting the check box of the production manager at Excite Batteries, because purchase manager at Excite Batteries, because he needs to have 3 proposals. You're paying salaries to one person in your company for one day to do that person's work. Okay, till then they kept telling, no Neetu, what are you talking, you are excited, that aa jayega order, order aa jayega. Then we decided our strategy is going to be, in the next 1-2 months, let's involve the senior guys and figure out कि हम लोग can we actually become a real vendor with Excite or not. Let's try to solve that. अगर वो हो जाता है, great, I'm happy to be proven wrong. पर अगर वो नहीं होता है, okay, then stop giving the pricing to Excite or give them a rack price. This is what we call the MRP price होता है ना. Let's just give him that price. उसको हमको business दे रहा है तो देगा, नहीं दे रहा है तो नहीं देना है. We will not spend one person's full days on per week to meet their checkbox. That's the part about the need. Is there an actual need or not? And the last one is time. Are they ready to buy today or now, or they're planning for next year? So I have a client who is in a manufacturing of these external facades for all the corporate buildings के लिए उन लोग बाहर से जो facade बनाते हैं उसका उन लोग manufacture करते हैं. They do it in some specially treated cement का उन लोग facade designer facade जो बनाते हैं. Okay, and they have this challenge that the inquiry comes, they're full excited. नीतू Google का inquiry आया है, नीतू 80 lakhs का वो एक project आया है हमारे पास. Okay, and then it's okay, when is what's the time from that? और नहीं, अभी तो बिल्डिंग बनना भी शुरू नहीं हुआ, अभी खुदाई हो रही है. Okay, this means that this year वो project is not going to get completed because the facade is one of the last things that comes in the building. Okay, so that means if you look at it, that building is going to take about a year to build. So we can't take that project as this year's pipeline. That will become next year's pipeline. That is what we call what happens when we use BANT, BANT. Okay, and then lastly, who is going to be responsible for, in this case I've given LinkedIn. Who is responsible? Make one person responsible for LinkedIn. Okay, for the LinkedIn sales channels, so that they can follow up with the team and make this happen. And ultimately, how are you going to review to see whether this is actually working for you or not. This, if you do this, this is how you will get a predictable high quality lead. This is where you convert just lead sources into predictable high quality leads. Whatever these 6 steps I've given you in between, you can apply it for any of your lead sources. Okay. So this is where you can do your next activity. Okay. Identify which lead source are you going to work upon and do the same step-by-step list on that. Okay. I'm not going to go into detail. It is this activity is there in your book. Okay. Next, let's move into the sales funnel. Before I do that, I know I'm going very, very fast because I do want to complete this as much as possible. Is there any questions on what I've covered till now? Anybody? कोई questions है, कुछ clarifications है? No?
All good.
All good. Thank you, Dinesh. Okay. So let's look at what is your sales funnel. So here I've just created a very simple sales funnel. First one is the awareness stage. Okay. Then we have the consideration. Awareness is when your customer gets to know about you. Second one is they start talking to you to get an understanding about what is your product or services. That's called the consideration stage. Then we have decision where they actually start saying, okay, fine, I like what you're doing. I like your products and services. I am ready to pay and buy from you now. That's a decision. And then we have the repeat. They'll come back and buy from us again and again. Okay. So this is a very simple sales stages. Now, some of you may have more in this. You may have a sample stage. You may have a pilot stage. You may have technical discussion versus commercial discussion. So you may have different stages. So one of the thing is for you to go back and see what are the actual different sales stages that I have. But before you do that, I have a question for you. Is there a difference between how we as a business we sell versus as a customer when they buy from us? Is there a difference between these two?
Can you elaborate this question?
जैसे हम ऐसे बिजनेस हम लोग जिस तरह से बेचते हैं और हमारे कस्टमर्स जिस तरह से खरीदते हैं उसमें कोई फर्क है क्या? I just translated it into English, so into Hindi. Let me explain this. Hussein, what is your business?
So we produced 100% eco-friendly floor cleaners and surface cleaners.
Okay.
So
And your
like an
customers
alternate,
are?
anyone and everyone at this point, but specifically for in my B2C segment, it would be a household, an urban household that cares about what products they use. They're eco-conscious and they want to use something that is safer for them than
Good
using
example.
chemicals that can be harmful. And on B2B side, institutions that want to go for sustainable products.
Got
So
that.
that
Let's pick up one of this customer segment. Let's pick up the B2B because I think a lot of the audience over here are going to be B2B. Shall I use your example and explain this? Chalega?
yeah,
Chalo.
yeah.
So B2B, eco-friendly house cleaning solutions, okay? And we are looking at B2B, that will be institutions which are buying this in bulk, correct?
Correct.
Chalo, okay, let's use that example, okay? Now, I'm going to do this exercise called the mirror mapping. So, आपका ये एक तो बीच में is your funnel. Hussein, would you prefer Hindi or English?
English works.
Okay, thanks. Okay. So then let's look at, before we map out what we want from what as a business we are doing, let's look at what are the customer's thoughts at each of the stages. So what is the customer thinking or feeling? Okay. So at the awareness stage, let's say your customer right now, when one of the B2B institutions, let's say, have decided ki whatever is I'm assuming they're already buying the cleaning resources from somebody. This is not a new thing, right? So they are already buying. Now, what is the thought that is going on in the customer's mind when they are looking at an alternative vendor. What do you think they are thinking about? What is their need at this stage, at the awareness stage? Any thoughts?
So one would be this. So like it may not be like a need of the hour because like this is very contextual for me because majority of my customers will be people who have been using chemical based cleaners and they have been using it for years.
Correct.
So unless and until there is very specific incident that has happened, so there is
Correct.
like something acute that has happened, then that is
Correct.
a trigger for them. But if
Perfect.
not that, if there is any need happens when there is some change in their policies that we want to go sustainable, or if by referral they feel that okay, this product is better than chemicals, so why not use something organic, or just they got to know about it and they're interested in it. So that could be
Fantastic.
one of the force that reason that why they could be interested.
Fantastic, Guzin. Thank you so much because what you've given me is very keywords. One is that there is a trigger. If we are
Hmm.
able to identify the trigger, it's the easiest sale for us, right? We need to look out and where the triggers happen. So if there is an incident that has happened, or if there is a mandate by the government, okay, if something like that has happened, then it becomes that's the awareness that happens outside you. If not, you have to educate the customer on
Right.
why their current existing chemical cleaning solutions are not the best for whatever reason that is there, right? That's the awareness that you need to create because they are not aware of it. Okay,
Hmm.
understood that? Okay, so even if
Right.
they see something saying eco-friendly cleaning, they may ignore it because they're not even aware what is the need for that. Okay. Now, as a
Hmm.
business, what do? We are just saying here is we could, I'm not saying we are doing this. It could just be that we are going and telling that eco-friendly is the best way for a friendlier earth, etc., etc. Okay. But a business wala is already thinking, I'm already using, kya farak padta hai? Right? So the awareness may, if you think what the customer is thinking, then your sales action changes. Now you're thinking, acha, they may just ignore if I just say eco-friendly or they come across volume things. So what we need to do is make them understand why their current chemical based solutions is not the best option. Okay, so that
Hmm.
becomes your sales action becomes that in the forefront. Okay, you're not talk. And second thing is, if the customer is thinking, no, this eco-friendly thing will be more expensive, so let me not even think about that because cleaning solutions, unfortunately, is a cost. Correct? So
Yeah.
they may not even
Yeah.
think about it so they will be very conscious about it. So maybe if your product is the ultimately it's equal to the same options that they have in the long run, that is what you lead with. You may be thinking it's expensive, but imagine the cost of whatever happens if you use a chemical one,
Right.
right? So if you understand what is the customer thoughts, your sales action changes. Okay. Now, consideration stage, they are invariably going to compare you with their current chemical based solutions, right? You know that they are going to do that. So, what's your sales action? You make sure upfront you're telling them what is the comparison. So, if you see nowadays, if you go buy any technical product on Amazon Miche on this on they will it will make you give you the option to compare, right? Similar products with similar features. Why are they doing that? Because they realize everybody is anyway comparing. So let it make it easy for me to compare. In corporate sales, we do this a lot. Once we understand that the customer is going to compare us, okay, any which ways, we create the comparison chart and give it to the customer. Of course, because we are creating, we have leeway on identifying the exact parameters where we are stronger than the competitors. And competitor here does not have to be the name of of a competition, but it could be the larger industry, which is chemical based solutions, right? Then we have decisions. How will they make decisions? So maybe they will say, Ki, let me try it out first. So if that is the way they do, Ki, let me try it out. So what will you do? Your offer, your sales action will be that we will offer, let's say, a 1 week trial for cleaning one premises of them or one something like that. Because this, this is how they will make a decision. So your sales action will include that. Does it make sense, Hussein? So the way the customer buys and the way we sell, there is always a gap.
Right. Right. That makes sense. In fact, a part of it is aligned towards that, but yeah, it makes sense.
Right? Yeah. So I have to give you this example. There's a company which was manufacturing pet food, fresh pet food for dogs, for canines. And they were telling me, Neetu, I mean, there's such big brands like Doodle, ये वो सब Drools वगैरह है, इतने बड़े brands है. How will we compete with them? So, and customers are always a little wary to change their pet ka khana, because what if the pets don't like it? And all of these packages come with very big pieces. So I said, hey, do one thing, why don't you create a small sample package? Okay, and you've got 5 different dishes. Make a bundle of 5 samples. Okay, and tell the pet parents, take this, give this to your pets, see which one they like, and then afterwards buy that product. Don't have to buy everything. Okay, because what did we use? We use how will the customer decide, what is their consideration, what are they going to they are worried about. Based on the customer's thoughts, we created a sales action, and that was a super hit because nobody else was offering that. Okay, so this is an example of how we can change a sales action if we understand what is the customer's thought. That is what is called mirror mapping. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Now, for you to do this, in your workbook, there is a table such as this. Okay, where you write the different stages of your funnel. Then you write first column में लिखोगे कि what is your customer thinking, feeling, or what do they need? उनकी ज़रूरत क्या है, वो लोग क्या सोच रहे हैं. Why will they say नहीं नहीं ये मेरे लिए नहीं है, right? If you write that down, and the best thing is ask your sales guys, the ones who are talking to the customer regularly. आपके जो सेल्स गाइज है, आपके जो सर्विस की टीम है, सपोर्ट की टीम है, उनसे पूछो ये सब इन्फॉर्मेशन, बिकॉज दे अंडरस्टैंड द कस्टमर्स बेटर, राइट? उनसे ये सब लिखवाओ, आप अपना अलग से लिखो, कंपेयर करो. देन फ्रॉम देयर look at what should you do, and as in sales, what should you do, what should your sales strategies be in this each of these stages. You will be surprised how many new powerful ideas you will get because of this. Okay, so this is the mirror check that we do. We build, in fact, when I work with my clients on a one-to-one basis, one of the first exercise that we do is to look at the sales stages from the customer's perspective. Okay, what are we doing from here? And I redo the entire sales actions based on that. इसमें बहुत सारे ideas, बहुत सारे improvements will come with your existing customers itself. Okay, so remember each step what you are doing, you should look at what will make the customer move to the next stage. If you are in the awareness stage, what will make them move to the consideration stage? Okay, that's the activity that you have to do. And the next one is you take the same funnel and see where is the biggest problem for you. So for example, your awareness stage mein, you just don't have enough of right customers. Somebody told me this was the challenge that you said at the beginning. Okay, or consideration stage mein, you're seeing that customers is coming and talking to you, but it's not a serious they're not seriously considering you. आपसे बात कर रहे, but like I gave the example of Excite batteries, बात हो रही है, like they are reaching out to you, but they were not a serious customer. They were not looking at seriously buying from this company. Okay, then decision stage में very very common, आपने proposal भेज दिया, उसके बाद silence. अगर यहाँ पे आपका सबसे ज़्यादा सिचुएशन है, दिस इज वेयर यू गोइंग टू बी लुकिंग एट, राइट? दैट्स द प्लेस दैट यू गोइंग टू वर्क ऑन. या फिर रिटेंशन, कस्टमर आता है, एक बार खरीदता है, पर उसके बाद फिर से कभी वापस नहीं आता. अगर आपका ऐसा बिजनेस ही ऐसा है कि यू जस्ट बाय, कस्टमर बाइज फ्रॉम यू ओनली वंस, लाइक इफ यू आर मैन्युफैक्चरिंग अ ह्यूज प्रोडक्शन, मैन्युफैक्चरिंग मशीनरी, जो हर एक customer that has only one such machinery, then maybe this retention may not apply for you. Okay, but maybe services may apply for you कि एक बार machinery खरीद लिया, if you are into services part of it, then it comes into that, right? Yeah, repairs comes over there. वरना retention is definitely one of the areas that we're going to be looking at. ठीक है? So this is the activity when you are, again it is there in your workbook when you are looking into it, ki which of these, why is this happening for you? Okay, you can try this out if you want. Why don't you on your screen andaze se, right now we are just doing as an approximate. Okay, where do you think, and you can use multiple choices over, you don't have to choose one. Okay, see, which are the challenges? So I'm seeing somebody has answered nearly all of them except for the last one or two of them, right? So great. Now the moment you identify this, this is where we can start building our specific strategies also. Okay, what can you do? Just let's say, for example, I see the most common challenge is that we are not reaching the real decision maker. Okay, so this is at the very beginning when I said BANT mein na authority, A wala jo hai. How can we train our sales teams when we get an inquiry or when they go and find an inquiry to also ask, what is the decision making process in your organization? Who else is involved in this? Okay, uh, who else should I be talking to make sure that I get this inquiry, I get this business from you guys? So train the team to ask direct or indirect questions to figure out who's the decision maker. Right, so at the very beginning, if you know who's the decision, and also tell your sales team, just don't assume that the purchase manager is the decision maker. So I have a case right now. I was talking to you about the processor company. They have a client, and I was talking to them, asking that who do we know in the client's office? And they said, Neetu, the production manager, I know her very well. She's the one who's giving us the maximum business also. So I said, अच्छा ठीक है, प्रोडक्शन मैनेजर के ऊपर कौन है? तो कहा सीईओ है. बट मैं कहा ठीक है, हमारे सीईओ से हमारी कोई रिलेशनशिप है? He says नहीं, we don't know the CEO very well, but प्रोडक्शन मैनेजर is the main person. तो मैं कहा अच्छा ये चीज आपको 100% पता है, or are you assuming it? Do you know this for sure? Or you are assuming कि CEO doesn't get involved in purchases, production manager को बोला है आपको जो खरीदना है खरीदो. Does that ever happen? Not always, right? So I said, if can you validate now that the CEO is not involved and the production manager is the main final decision maker? Okay, because we don't have a relationship with the CEO. If the decision maker, final decision maker is the CEO, and tomorrow he says, no, I don't want to buy from here, I wanted to buy from that, the production manager will have to listen to the CEO. And since we don't have a relationship with the CEO, we can't influence them. Okay, so I'm seeing that we are not reaching the real decision maker is the biggest challenge I'm seeing. An existing supplier is a cheaper alternative. Okay, okay, that's another problem. I can, right now I'm not talking about that. There's one full session that I can do on how do we train our sales teams or ourselves to respond when the customer says कि यार ये तो मुझे सस्ते में मिल रहा है, or I have somebody else who's giving it to me at 10% cheaper, 20% cheaper. Okay, so वो मैं आज, if I have time, I will talk about it towards the end. Okay, but I'm seeing that these are the two main reasons that everybody else is given. Okay, chalo, great. Thank you so much for this sharing this, guys. Let's move to the next one. Okay, now that we have understood all of this, we need to quickly look at how are we going to be tracking the performance of us, all the sales strategies that we've decided till now. No, how are we going to be looking at that? And that's always on the review. Now on the screen, there are two sets of questions, review questions. One is in the smaller box, one is in a bigger box. Can somebody tell me which one is a better set of review questions? Which one is a better set of questions and why? Anybody? Okay, what is the difference between these set of questions? If you're not done, Jinesh, you want to try this?
First one is just will say yes, no, or a very short answer without any reasons or explanation.
Correct.
In the second, you are asking why. So you are deep diving what is the reason actually where you can take actions accordingly.
Very good. Thank you, Jinesh. Bang on. Hussein, you are also going to answer?
No, I was just about to say the ones on the right are better because they are much more specific.
Correct. Absolutely. Thank you so much for that. Okay, so it's very clear that these are very specific, right? But I see a lot of people who are not trained on how to do sales reviews ask only the first one, or also because we don't have time. Jhatpat say, let's quickly do a review. These are the 4-5 questions that we do, and then we give instructions to the same to the sales team. Do it like this, do it like that, do it like that, do it like that. I was talking to one of my clients, and they were saying, Neetu, I have to give them instructions because if I leave it to them, उन लोग वो काम होगा ही नहीं, या वो जो करेंगे वो गलत होगा. I said, then how, if you continue to give them instructions, they will never build their own capability to think and plan, right? So I prefer some of these review questions on the right, which I've given you, right? And so on your screen, in your sample, in your workbook, there are a lot of sample questions I have already added for reviews. Okay. Now, the main thing is you should not ask all the, I think I've given some 15-20 questions. Don't ask all the 15-20 questions. Okay. You will, it will backfire. Pick up 5 questions and only ask the same 5 questions every week. Okay. For example, do we have enough opportunity for the target? And I will show you exactly how with the dashboard. Okay. Which deals are delayed? Why? What is your plan of action for the next week? Which deals have actually moved this forward, right? So we will pick up these 5 questions itself. Now, why do I want you to ask only these 5 questions? Whichever you choose from. One is each of these questions are designed, like Jinesh was saying, to ask why, to do a root cause, to go deeper, right? सिर्फ सामने सामने नहीं बोला तुमने ये काम किया, हाँ किया. तुमने कस्टमर से बात की, हाँ की. क्या बात हुई? कस्टमर ने बोला अगले हफ्ते बात करते हैं. क्या करेंगे आप उसका? क्योंकि हमारा पूरा टाइम सिर्फ वेटिंग में चल जाता है. और बाय टाइम हम लोग वेट करते हैं. आई हैव अ क्लाइंट हु टेल्स मी दैट नीतू दैट क्लाइंट हैज टोल्ड मी कि अगस्त में आके बात करो. मैं कहा अच्छा ठीक है, तो फिर अभी क्या प्लान है? बोले नहीं अभी तो चुप है, हम लोग अगस्त में बात करेंगे. मैं कहा आप ये लिख कर रख लीजिए, आपका टीम अगस्त फर्स्ट वीक में तो बात ही नहीं करेगा. When you tell the team, so what is your plan of action with this account? And they tell ki nahi, customer has told August, so we will talk to them in August. Now you can tell them what will happen if the customer already closes by August. What can you do between now and August? I think आज तो वैसे 30 तारीख है, so maybe just 1 or 2 days, but let's say it's September. Okay, make them think कि अगर इफ कस्टमर ने सितंबर बोला है, मैं सितंबर में बात करूंगा, इट्स अ हाई पॉसिबिलिटी दैट समबडी एल्स हैज ऑलरेडी गॉट द ऑर्डर इन बिटवीन. So while I may need to, customer said September, I still have to find a reason to be in touch with the customer in August, ताकि वो हमारे बारे में भूले नहीं. एंड आई हैव टू वैलिडेट अगेन कि अगेन लेट्स से अगस्त के बीच में मैं बात करूंगी कि अच्छा ठीक है, क्या हाल चाल है, कैसे चल रहा है, कि अभी भी आपका टाइमलाइन सितंबर में है या कुछ कर सकते हैं अगस्त में. आई विल हैव दैट काइंड ऑफ अ कन्वर्सेशन विद दैट क्लाइंट. Right? So that's I want a sales team to think about this. That's the one. The third reason why we use the same question is now your sales team will understand कि सर मुझसे यही क्वेश्चंस पूछेंगे, तो आई बेटर कम प्रिपेयर्ड फॉर इट. इट इज एग्जैक्टली व्हाट वी वांट. कि वो पूछेंगे कि प्लान, इस हफ्ते का प्लान एक्शन है, तो आई बेटर प्लान माई वीक. ओके, वो पूछेंगे कि ये वाला डील में डिले क्यों है, आई बेटर गो फिगर आउट कि ये क्यों हो रहा है, क्या हो रहा है. So that's why it's very very important to ask the same. I know it can be boring of sometime. यार same वही questions पूछ रहा हूँ मैं हर एक आदमी से, but sorry it's boring, but it's very very important. Okay, so that's the review part of this there. Now if you take these review questions, यहाँ से हम लोग अपना sales का dashboard भी बना सकते हैं. So सबसे वाला question, do we have enough of opportunities, is something where we are measuring what is the coverage. I will talk to you I will explain to you what is coverage also. Okay, if this is the right customer and serious opportunities, what is the lead quality? If the deals are getting stuck, what are the stuck deals? If the customer has made a commitment, what is the next commitment, and what is your plan of action? What is the sales planning that the team is doing? Okay, now let's look at your dashboard from here. Does anybody know what is a coverage? ठीक है, let me show you this. Let's say that there's a client, आपका टारगेट है, मंथली टारगेट आपका 1 crore है. Okay, now if I come and tell you that right now I have leads which is worth 4 crores right now with me. Okay, so what is my coverage? मतलब how much of leads do you require to achieve your 1 crore target? Okay, that means my coverage right now is 4x. मुझे चाहिए 1 crore, पर मेरे पास 4 crore का pipeline बना हुआ है. That is my coverage is 4x. Is this good, guys? Is this a good number?
It depends on your conversion ratio.
Okay, so let me look at the next one. Okay, I will tell you out of these 4 crores, 3 crores is qualified. Remember the BANT I told you? Budget hai, authority hai, all that. So we have qualified this. And so that is 3 crore. So now what is my coverage? From 4x it's become
3x.
3x. Okay. Now I'm going to tell you out of these, there's a high probability of closure. It's only 2 crores. Why I'm saying high probability? कि दूसरे जो 1 crore है ना, उसमें competitor जो है वो बहुत the customer prefers a competitor than us. So the chances कि वो हमको आएगा बहुत कम है. Mostly it'll go to the competitor. या फिर वो जो प्रोडक्ट जो इंक्वायरी है वो प्रोडक्ट हमारे पास नहीं है. Okay, yeah, we are not very good at it. Yeah, first time we are offering to the customer. Okay, so whatever different, because of that we are saying because of that from 3 crores it's now become 2 crores. So what is the coverage now actually?
2x.
2x. 2x. Correct? Okay. Now if I tell you out of this, because this is my monthly target, na? Okay. Out of this month 1.1 crore will close. The rest 90 lakhs will close next month or the month after. Remember I gave you the example of Google, right? That 80 lakhs, this company I'm talking to you is a 10 crore company. उनके लिए 80 lakhs का one single order is a big thing. पर वो इस साल नहीं आएगा. Okay. So then if I have to take for this month itself only 1.1 crores. So what is the actual coverage? It's only 1.1x. Now tell me, is this a good coverage? Depending on like what Jinesh said on the rate of closing. If the client closes 50% of their deals and their coverage is 1.1x, how much money do you think they're going to make this month?
Only 50%.
Only 55 lakhs.
55.
55 lakhs, right? So the real thing is when we're looking at coverage, we always only look at the pipeline value. नहीं आप आराम से, like I gave you the example of the manufacturer of processors. Okay, 1,500 open opportunities. That's the work that we are cleaning up right now. Okay, it looks like 1,500 या उसका just calculate करेंगे तो हमारा 440 crores का sorry 250 crores का वो opportunity size है. But it's not realistic. If we calculate, if we start doing all of this, the reality of the coverage will come into. So make sure you check the coverage of your pipeline. Don't just blindly be very happy कि pipeline में इतना सारा है. Make sense, guys? Okay. Next one is we are looking at, okay, this is the activity that you are going to be doing for your business now. Again, it's there in the workbook. If this is where you are struggling, if you've never done something like this, in the one-to-one, come prepared, show me come prepared with your pipeline, and we will talk about that. And I'll teach you how to do this for your own business. Or we will discuss how to improve this for your own business. Okay. The next one is the lead quality. Now on your screen, again, I told you I'm going to make you think. I've got 4 different lead sources and how many leads I have got from these. Okay. Now tell me which one, according to this, which is the best lead source?
Referrals.
Referrals.
Referrals is true according to the numbers. I'm getting only 20 leads from referrals.
But they are worth it, I guess. There are high chance of no converting
Very
those
nice.
referrals. Yeah.
Thank you. Dinesh, आप तो आगे बढ़ गए बहुत जल्दी. Yeah, but that is right? So if you just look at this table, it looks like, okay, I'm getting 100 leads from my website or IndiaMart. That's a better resource. But if you look at the qualified resource leads, remember the BANT which I explained to you. If I put that now and I say out of these, this is my qualified leads. Okay, which one is a better source now?
The referrals, obviously. Yeah.
Exhibition.
Referrals will be a best source.
No. That is, see, you're going by a generic thing. But look at the numbers on the screen. Many a times we get we get referrals, and if those referrals, if your customer understands exactly what you are doing, then the chances of it closing is very high. Okay, but just don't blindly do that. Do this calculation first. Okay, all the different sources from where you're getting leads, how many of them are qualified leads? In this example, it is exhibition. And in your example, it could be referral, but calculate the number and then make the decision. Okay? Okay. So if you look at this, the lead quality percentage is, if you see for LinkedIn, out of 30, qualified is 15. So quality the lead quality is 50%. Okay? And exhibition, oh yeah, you guys are right. Yeah, 20 means 14, 70%. Sorry, my bad. I'm sorry. You're right over this, that 70% referrals is the highest. I'm so sorry. I forgot this calculation myself. Thank you. Sometimes it's nice for me to also learn from my mistakes. I'm sorry about that. You guys were completely correct. Okay. So this number also is telling the same thing as what you guys were saying. 70% is the highest. So that is where the lead quality is the highest for you. Okay. So we just don't assume the total leads is not the best parameter, but the qualified leads is what we are going to be looking at. Okay. Now, this is what I've already explained to you. BANT wala explanation, the same thing. You can define for your organization what is the quality check. Okay. And again, there are enough of examples in the workbook, please go through it. When we do a one-to-one, you can tell me if that's working for you, or if you want something different, we can work on that also. Okay. And so this is the activity that you're going to be doing. And when you do this activity, you will also, there are certain other questions which you can also look at. Again, it is there in your workbook. Okay. Which one is giving us the highest number of leads, highest quality of the leads, which is keeping the team busy. Which source is keeping the team busy, but they are not producing serious opportunities. I gave you the Excitewala example, right? I was asking the client, the team, how does Excite give you the inquiries? So they told me that we get an email from them. I said, okay, fine. Who sends the email? And then I get to know that the email is a generic email. Okay, it's not sent by our individual, it's sent by it says production purchases at something, right? So I realize that I asked them, do you realize it's possible that they are just sending this generic email to everybody? Okay, you're not the only one. So the inquiry is not coming to you. The inquiry is going through a list of people. Okay, so you're not even talking to an individual over there. So the source of that lead for them, for Excite, was just an email that keeps, and maybe it's an automated email which gets triggered where the team just sends it out to everybody, picks up whoever, gives them the 3 responses and goes it forward. So that was not a serious opportunity. This is the example I'm talking about. If you understand what is the source, that will help you remove that wasted time that your team is thinking that they are working on it, but it's actually not a real serious lead for you guys. Okay, and based on this, what are you planning to do for the next 90 days? Okay. Next, we are looking at where are our deals getting stuck. Now on your screen, we have different stages that is there. I've set instead of the ACDR, I put qualified lead, discovery, proposal, negotiation, closure. Let's say ये आपका different stages है और आपने calculate करना है कि हर stage पे on an average, okay, how much time is spent. So if you look at this, when the lead comes, it takes about 7 days for us to qualify. ठीक है, फिर from then it takes 10 days for us to discuss with the customer and get the correct scope of work that they want. Then it takes 15 days for us to send the proposal or the quotation to the customer. Then in the next 20 days we are sitting and negotiating, the to and fro happens, and then once the approval happens, the closure of the PO comes to us after 15 days, right? So this is the expected time on an average. Now most of you know this intuitively in your brains. आपको पता है कितना टाइम अंदाजे से लगता है, पर आपने कभी इसको ऐसे बैठ के कैलकुलेट करके लिखा नहीं है. Okay, I'll tell you why it's important. So let's say हमने ये काम कर दिया, नेक्स्ट वाले कॉलम में हमने लिखा है what is the current number of deals, how many deals are there in each of these stages. Okay, now the question is, because we have put age, the timeline for expected timeline for each of this, we can now calculate and see, why is my, okay, we can calculate and see which deals have gone beyond the expected time. If you are using any kind of a CRM, this becomes very, very easy for you to do it. If you are not using a CRM, today with Google Sheets or Excel Sheets में भी ये calculation आराम से बन सकता है. ठीक है? So what do you do over here? So like यहाँ पे if you look at it, out of the 40 leads who are at the qualified stage, सबसे first stage में जो है, 5 of them have gone beyond 7 days. So what do you think this means? Let's just take the first number. 5 deals जो है, जो हमारे पास total 40 deals है in the qualified stage में. Each of these deals should take maximum 7 days. Okay, और 7 days में हम लोग उसको qualify करके we should get into a and say that okay, let's allocate it to a sales guy. से बात, we give it to a sales guy and he has to go and meet up with the customer. That is the work that we do in the qualified stage, right? तो वहां पे अगर करने के लिए, let's say 5 of those deals have are cross 7 days. That means it's become 8 days, 10 days हो गया है, पर अभी तक हमने उसको qualify नहीं किया है. What do you think is happening? Guys, क्या हो रहा होगा? What do you think? Either the sales teams is too busy with existing customers कि जो नया inquiries आ रहे हैं, हम लोग उस पर focus नहीं कर पा रहे हैं, right? Or it could also be that each person is thinking somebody else is handling it. Okay, या हमने कभी इसको ट्रैक ही नहीं किया कि 7 दिन होना चाहिए था, पर ऑलरेडी आज 10 दिन हो गए, 12 दिन हो गए, किसी ने अभी तक उसको देखा ही नहीं है. तो दिस इज अ ब्लाइंड स्पॉट, हमको पता ही नहीं है कि हमारे सेल्स में ये प्रॉब्लम, यहाँ पर डील्स हमारे स्टक हो रहे हैं. बाय द टाइम द क्लाइंट गोज बैक, वी गो बैक टू दैट क्लाइंट, उन्होंने बोले नहीं यार हमने तो फाइनलाइज कर दिया है, बहुत टाइम हो गया आपको देखकर. आप लोग नहीं नहीं आपने तो 10 दिन पहले दे दो. बोले नहीं हमने तो फाइनलाइज कर दिया, हो गया काम खत्म. Right, so that is what is happening for you. So we never look at stage wise what is the age of the lead. Here this will give you an understanding कि कहाँ पे आपका सबसे ज़्यादा leak हो रहा है. So if you look at it, we have got in the negotiation stage, इस example में there are 10 deals who are at the negotiation stage, पर इसमें से जो 7 deal है they have crossed 20 days. Okay, the chances of us winning this negotiation reduces every time it's delayed. So I gave you the example of the processor company that 1500 deals to उनके pipeline में है ना. The what we first thing that we have done is we put the deal stages and we said which of these deals in the last, so we just today morning we were discussing last 4 months may which of these deals have crossed the stages that we have said. Let's focus on that, because the deals which are been delayed for 60 days 90 days, the chances of them getting converted is very very low right now. So we said we will look at the current deals and work backwards. Any questions on this, guys? Is this clear for you? Anybody here feels कि ये मेरे business के लिए important नहीं है?
Can you repeat? Sorry.
Does anybody feel that it's not important for my business?
No. It's exactly same. Maybe another 30 more days for me.
Okay, why 30 more days, Kumarasan?
The specification stage comes first. The qualified lead, after that, the specification stage.
Okay.
Technical specs.
So you have that extra in between, right? So
Yeah.
technical specs that can be
Rest
there.
everything is rest all same.
Okay, fine. So you add that, and then so again the stage is something which you will define. In fact, the next one that I have put is, I think I'll show you the next slides. I think it's here. Okay. So whatever is the different stages, you can put the stages as per yourself. Put expected timelines. It will also give you an opportunity to improve your internal operations. What can we do to ensure that a quotation is sent within 15 days, for example? Okay, so this client of mine, one of the things that we have that they have already done very well. In fact, before they started engaging with me itself, they've realized that the quotation was taking a lot of time because currently the copper price has gone up to the roof, and so every pricing has to be re-looked at it. Because of that, they have said now that we have changed. They have some clients where they had this open book pricing, some of semi-open book pricing. So there they were able to quickly tell the client and say this is the reason that we are increasing prices. Some of the others, they don't have these policies. So they had to change that. The costing team is taking a lot of time to come back and check 10 parameters to arrive at the pricing. So now they have built an entire backend ERP for the costing team to quickly work. It still takes them anywhere between 40 minutes to 2 hours depending on the complexity of the product which is being offered to come to the pricing. But earlier, I mean today the pricing proposal and quotation has from 15 days for this company has come down to 4 days. 4 days also only because there's a little bit of waiting to talk to the suppliers and get the current availability and pricing and calculate all of those things. That's the only reason it is there. But even now we're taking from 4 days. Today morning we were discussing how do we even reduce from 4 to more simpler numbers. So this gives you an opportunity to improve your operations also. Okay. Now let's look at the next one. So this is the work that you are going to be doing. Identifying, put those expected time for the different stages and identify where your deals are getting most stuck and what could the reason be. Is it an internal delay or is it an external delay? External delay could just be customer is taking time to respond. Okay, yeah, फिर I have to wait on the my purchase from whom I'm purchasing, right? My raw materials pricing, I have to get it from that person. That is why there is always a deal, whichever it is. Okay, so that you will, once you identify the delay, then we can start working on this. Okay, how do we improve on that? Okay, I think this is the last but one stage, which is now the ownership. I think I told in the beginning itself, we need to figure out who owns what. The reason many of us as business owners get involved in everything is because we own everything. The entire sales funnel, from bringing in the inquiry to sending to qualifying, to sending proposals, to negotiating, to following up for PO. Everything we are doing it. Okay, and that is why we are bottlenecked. Okay, so if what we need to do is start looking at the different stages again, like Kumarasan was saying, you can your different stages, which say put your stages name. I've not put the stages name over here. Put what is your real stage number, who is accountable, and where are you coming in, and who's the manager, if there's a manager in between. Let me show you an example over here. Okay, okay, here's an example. We've got, if you see, stage one, we have a sales executive called Rahul, who's responsible, and he is reporting to Kavita. Okay, if there's any problem, Kavita will step into it. Okay, but stage two, Kavita is the main account holder. Okay, and she will talk, and if there's anything to escalate, she will talk to the business owner, who's Prashant. Okay, but stage three, it could be the negotiation stage or the pricing stage, for example. Prashant is the one who's handling it. The business owner is the one who's mainly responsible for it. Okay, stage four is again back to Kavita and Prashant. Stage five, there is nobody who's accountable. So Kavita, there's nobody, so Kavita only has to manage everything. Okay, now this could how your current, if you draw this out for your, map this for your company, this is how it will look. Okay, now let's look at it. What is the current status? Because here सबसे पहले वाले जो stage में है, we've got Rahul is there, Kavita is there. In case Kavita falls sick, the business owner Prashant can take over. So it's a very balanced stage. We have got multiple people who can take care of it, but kuch bhi hai, Rahul is the first person who's responsible for this, right? Second one, we've got Kavita and Prashant, again a balanced one because responsibility is divided between the two of them. Now the third one is where there is a dependency on Prashant. Now if you are the business owner और हर एक जगह में सिर्फ आपका ही नाम आ रहा है, then everything is orange, that orange becomes red for you. सब कुछ आप पर dependent है, right? Then here now, if you see, the moment fourth stage में again escalation is coming to Prashant. Now the owner has become overloaded, right? He has to manage, say, escalations for stage 3, stage 2, stage 3, he is responsible, and escalation for stage 4. And then the last one, we don't have an owner. When I say owner, not the business owner, I mean the stage owner. Okay, because accountable owner के पास वहाँ पर कोई भी नहीं है. Okay, now when you look at this, you will very clearly see that in this case, that we need to hire somebody who will be responsible for stage 5. Okay, and from the business owner, we need to remove one of the responsibilities. And maybe the responsibility could be stage 3 or the escalation part of it. We can say, Kavita, now you manage it on your own. You are good enough on doing this. Right? This is the stage ownership map. This will show you where your current sales stages is getting stuck because there is nobody to take care of it. Okay. Now, if you're a small organization, or I have to move that. If you're a small organization, this is how multiple people can be having multiple responsibilities. Okay. If you're a large organization, हर एक stage में there can be a different person. So it works both the ways. Okay. When you put this, make this for yourself. Okay. You need to understand that in this stage, where are you involved, And is this because there is nobody else to manage this, or because you don't want somebody else to manage this? So I know some accounts, some businesses where the pricing, the business owner will not give it to anybody else because it is highly confidential. So that is by design. आपने जानबूझकर ऐसा बनाया कि प्राइसिंग के लिए सिर्फ मेरे पास ही आना है. Okay, then that's fine. But if you're doing something like यार कोई और नहीं है संभालने के लिए इसलिए मैं ही कर रहा हूँ, then that's the place that we have to look at how do we solve that problem, because अगर वो जब तक solve नहीं होगा आपके पास time नहीं मिलेगा to look at strategy. Okay, so this is the part. Now, till now, if you see what we have covered, like I promised you, we've already covered what is the existing customer growth, how do you go from source to engine, how do you build a sales process which is based on the customer behavior. Okay, why is this important? Because if you make it easy for the customer to buy from you, okay, your entire engine will become repeatable now. Okay, we have learned how to identify the leaks that is happening in our current stage funnels. We've learned what are the review questions we should ask. We have learned what are the different metrics that we have to look into, and we've also learned that where are the different stages, who needs to be owning it, and where there is a dependency on the business owner. Okay, this is what I promised to, and all of this together will help you build the sales engine. वरना you will have sales. ये बात नहीं है कि आपके पास sales नहीं होगा, पर आपके पास engine नहीं होगा. And it will not be something which can be repeated again and again. Because these things are missing right now. That could be the reason why that's not happening in your organization. With that, I've come to the end. What I promised to you, not the market plan, but sorry, this was another program that we were doing, right? So this is your sales engine. Okay, we've got your sales engine, and your 90 days clarity call is what you can set up with me on a one-to-one basis. My Wadhwani team will give you access to my calendar. They will coordinate with you on a date and time when you can set up 45 minutes to an hour meeting with me. But like I said in the earlier thing, please come prepared with with doing some amount of work on the workbook. Okay, because it will give you so much of understanding ki what are the things you are not doing, क्या-क्या चीज़ आप नहीं कर रहे हैं, what are the things that you don't know, मुझे पता ही भी नहीं है कि मुझे क्या करना चाहिए, मुझे समझ में नहीं आ रहा है, और what are the things that you feel ये idea अच्छा है, but how will I use it in my business? So if you are able to go through this, when we have a discussion, it will be more deeper. Okay. So with that, I've come to the end of my session today. I would love to hear from you if there's been any new shift in your thinking. कुछ नई बात, कुछ नई चीज आपने सोचा रहा है, ये तो इसके बारे में मैंने अपने सेल्स को इस तरह से देखा नहीं है. I did not think about my sales in this manner. If you have something like that, I would love to hear that from you. And yes, if you want to connect with me, I'm active on LinkedIn. You'll find me there as Neetu V Bansal. And you can also reach out to me on my business email. My business name is Business Karya. So with that, I'm done for the session. But I'm here to hear from you if you have any thoughts, etc. And there is feedback form from the Wadhwani team. Please do fill that up. Please fill that up. If there's something which you feel was not covered, I think, is there a question under Naveed? So that they can also put that up. So that we can also address.
So there are 7 simple questions you have to answer, just like the last time you answered before you leave. In the meantime, if you have any question, if you have any suggestion, you would like to share anything in particular with Neetu, we have some time left, so we can cover.
Yes, Hussein.
Please go ahead, Hussein.
Yes, like I mentioned, so this is the status right now with my current startup. I'm with Arjun Singh Mehta. He's the founder, and I'm the first hire in this startup with Gujarat Life Science. That's Global Life Science. And like I mentioned, we manufacture organic floor cleaners and surface cleaners.
Hmm.
We have a B2C route that we are working towards, but in the B2B route, I have been involved in the past 2 months, just reaching out to cafes, restaurants, hotels, schools, colleges, and now facility management companies. So I know for a fact, okay, what kind of people can I reach out to? I know for a fact that, okay, it's not worth reaching out to people that have a consumption of 5 to 10 liters. That would be in my B2C segment. So I've clarified that, but so my process is such that I'll reach out to them, I'll do a cold call, I'll send them my information, I'll set up a meeting, I'll talk about my products, and then arrange a demo. More often than not, these demos happen when I'm not around, right?
Okay.
And so far, I have only had out of like in the past 2 months, out of like I think 15, 10 to 15 demos, one or two have gone ahead to buy in the product. And in the demos, I have seen varied type of feedbacks. Like I have seen a hospital purchase manager say that the smell of this product is, not that much. And I have heard the same for the same product. I have heard a restaurant manager say that the smell is too harsh. So I am not able to find my ground and understand that, okay, how do I ensure that my conversion rate with these demos go up? Because I believe in my product. I think that in the market, with what we have right now are just harmful and toxic chemical based cleaners, and our alternative does the same job in a better way because it's smarter, it's safe and sustainable. And many a times, because again they have been using this product for so long, they've been using chemical cleaners for so long, so their perception is difficult, their understanding of why this is better is also difficult, and that will come with time, that will come with awareness. But with what I have right now and with what my cycle is right now, I'm just trying to figure out that, okay, how can I fasten this process A, and how can I improve my conversion rate?
Fantastic. Thank you for sharing this, Hussein. I'm going to give you a very brief answer now, but I would love if you can get into one-to-one. I can give you a more detailed one. Okay. So,
Right.
सबसे पहले for you to see is what is happening in the demo and how can you
Mhm.
improve the demo to address some of the common. Remember that I told you the funnel from the customer's angle, right? What is the customer thinking and planning, thinking, but not telling you? Okay, why they could be dismissing you. Think about that, and based on that, make sure that the demo script, okay, is addressing some of those concerns and thoughts which not every customer is going to verbalize and tell it to you.
Right.
Okay, so
Okay.
that is one. The example that you gave me, a hospital versus a restaurant. The hospital current, this is the current product that they're using logic. Okay, hospital's current product range, they're comparing you to something which is different from what a restaurant may be using.
Okay.
Okay,
Right.
so understand that, and then based on that, maybe you change your target segments, or you change your pitch to that particular segment, right? So
Okay.
hospitals are using very let's say bleach heavy products, right? So the smell of the bleach is
Mhm.
very very strong. That hospital wala smell which is there, right?
Right.
We all know that, right? So they're comparing you to that. So उसके हिसाब से उनके लिए बहुत अच्छा लग रहा होगा. But maybe a
Mhm.
restaurant guy is not using that kind of, because he's very conscious about how what is the atmosphere that he's creating in the restaurant, including smell being one of them, right? So then there maybe your pitch could be different, or maybe your product that you're propositioning to him can be different. Or if
Right.
that is the objection in in a restaurateur's mind, then during the demo when they're demonstrating it, because that's when he's smelling it, right? What should your person who's giving the demo, what should he say to reduce the resistance of the smell based what do you say decision that the customer is making?
Okay.
Okay, so this is just I'm giving you a very quick one, but we can talk a little bit more in detail, where I'll sit and talk to you about what are the different customer segments, what are their current, what products are you replacing right now. Based on that, what should your pitch be? What should the demo be? What should the demo achieve? So we can get into a little bit more detailing around that.
All right. I'll look forward to that. Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you, Hussein. Yes, I can
Thank you,
have one
Neetu.
more question. Yes.
Thank you, Neetu. It's
Yes,
wonderful.
Kamal.
One thing which struck is that comparison. we take it for granted most of the time, and why the customer is unable to decide which is best, or he will say it's a me too product for him. That's where the comparison, it's a very good one. We thought it's a specialized requirement, but it is not a specialized requirement. It's a very mandatory requirement, is what now I found out myself. That's where
Fantastic.
we fall short. Hopefully, we'll do every product compared with every other bloody company. Make it easy for you, like kind of ready referrals, for our
Correct, correct.
sales team.
In sales language, we call it the sales battle card.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's
It's
sales
like a battle
Yeah,
card. What
it is
is the battle strategy,
here
right?
you
What we
go,
should do
man.
with that?
Yeah, here you
Yes,
go. Yeah, this is here.
absolutely, absolutely.
Absolutely. Yeah, this is wonderful. Let's make it right. Thank you.
Thank you, Kumarisam. Thank you very much. Fantastic. Great, guys. I look forward to meeting you on a one-to-one, because I think today I was very conscious that I have to finish this in a particular time. So I did go through things with much more quicker. And I'm hoping that would trigger you to have a one-to-one call with me. And the book will make you rethink every aspect. It is not a workbook where you're just filling in. The book is designed to be a decision guide. Okay, it's designed to ask you questions that's going to make you rethink what you have taken for granted about your sales, right? And based on that, I'm looking forward to having some really deep, meaningful sales discussions with each one of you. Thank you very much.